We've got our 80 running real good. We've tested it in Moab. Now it's time to test it in the Northeast. It's Saturday. I've got my buddy Ryan here with me to do backup in his well-built 80. Let's go have some fun. So it was beautiful being out in Moab. It's always been a bucket list item. One of the glaring differences out there is just the vast expanse, the extensive valleys. Well, when we came over that hill into Hideout Canyon Road, you know, it was just this ravine coming down and an old gate, and you come up and over and it's like, whoa. It was, yeah. The very steep canyon walls and cliffs that we don't see in the Northeast. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to do any very difficult slick rock, because let's face it, I still had to drive this truck 3,000 miles home. Didn't want to break it. It's really nice to work on a solid rust-free foundation, because that is not something we get to experience here in the Northeast. Everything is generally a rot box, and you start with rust repair. This was a treat to be able to start with the mechanics. It was not entirely mechanically sound vehicle. We definitely had some vacuum leaks. It was very low on power, so giving it a tune-up, fixing the vacuum leaks, changing the air filter, adjusting the kickdown cable, fixing the squeaking belts, definitely brought it into a nice, drivable, capable vehicle. As you've seen, we fixed a lot of things on our 91 Toyota Land Cruiser to make sure it was mechanically sound. So now it's time to take it out into the woods here in the Northeast for a little light off-roading in stock form and see how it does. Well, it's certainly good to be back out in the woods in a four-wheel drive. Sadly, I sold my truck several years ago, and well, now I realize how much I miss it. Cannot wait to build this truck up, because, well, let's be honest, stock, we've already dented the exhaust. That's kind of a given. Routing clearance is insanely low compared to what I'm used to. And wow, is this thing a whale. Don't scratch the paint. Pretty much all of the roads around here all started out as trails. Over time, they have just become larger and larger and larger. A lot of the trails around here are also just old logging roads. So unlike the West, you are pretty much trapped. There is very little opportunity to thread out or avoid an obstacle or anything like that. You are just here. This is it. This is what you have to tackle. Other obstacles in the Northeast are mud puddles. We can have some very large, long, deep mud puddles here, and you never know, especially if you're not familiar with the trail, how deep they can be, how full of logs they can be, and sometimes they can be utterly bottomless. Well, the last fork in the road, the camera guy said go left. Wow, was that deep. He thought he was going to get me stuck. The camera guy was wrong. I do just like being in the trees, because the trees themselves can be an obstacle, whereas out in the open, well, you're in the open. Here, trees become a big factor, especially if they're leaning in the trail, especially if they're across the trail. Another big factor of trees is they're an excellent winch point, and you never run out of winch points in the Northeast. Whereas if you're out west in slick rock or in an open valley, you're generally going to have to either bury a winch point or have somebody with you. Stock, you can go wheeling. It works. But we need to do this. So what have you done to your rig?
So this being a 94, it already came factory with the front and rear locker, so step ahead on that.
Definitely.
Very, very handy to have. But 35-inch tires, 3-inch lift.
Yeah.
A little bit of armor on the front and the back.
Yeah.
And essential to the winch to save me in those sticky situations.
A winch is definitely a big help.
So
big
far,
help.
I haven't needed it since I've had it.
Yeah,
I've needed it a lot of times when I didn't have it.
that's how it works. Yeah. Yeah. Well, really glad to have you and your winch along today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thankfully, didn't need it. Yeah, we just need to build our rig up and get some armor on it. But that'll be in the next episode. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. As always, thank you for watching.